Hi, this is Artemy, or Art, and you can find me at CUArtist pretty much everywhere. Today I wanted to talk about my scripting process that I used, and possibly further on from that. I first started out by having a quick outline. I had scraps of story just spread around everywhere, and I did my best to make them into a cohesive outline. And then, after the outline was started, I elaborated on each point and just expanded as I went on. And that's what really worked for me, is just starting out smaller and just elaborating more on each section. I read somewhere once that your first draft is not supposed to be good, it's just supposed to be there, and then you can work from it further. If something feels bad, get through it. Maybe make a note, leave a comment, put a sticky note, say what it is that is bothering you about the scene, and keep moving. So once the first draft was done, I had friends look at it if they were willing, and then after seeing what edits they had, I printed it out and did my own edits in pen. For me, it was very, very helpful for my brain because just looking at it on the screen, I just got bored. But if I was going back and forth between digital and traditional work, it helped me realize the problems, it helped me keep moving. So I printed it out, made the edits that I had, and then I believe I retyped the whole thing, at least at one point, typed it back in, so I would catch all of the mistakes I had made and do another round of editing in the process. I did that a couple more times. The final time I printed it, I left half of the page blank so I could do my thumbnails in my script. I was pretty impatient. I had ordered it as a hardcover from Office Depot, so it was taking a little bit to ship here instead of the previous one I had printed was a soft cover, and I could just pick it up in the same day. And because I was so impatient and just wanted to keep moving, I was on a roll. I started doing my thumbnails on index cards, cut down to the right size for the page I thought I would have. I wouldn't say I regret doing that because I did get pretty far doing it in that way. However, because I was doing it on its own separate thing of paper and it was pretty large, it wasn't really a thumbnail. I didn't do multiple drafts to check for composition. I didn't know enough about composition to try and make it good. If you don't know what a thumbnail is, it is a very small, not detailed, quick sketch of how you want the page's composition to look like. So you know that the words will fit, so you know how the people will be laid out on the page, and so you don't have to redraw a page over and over again. But I did just keep moving forward, and as I was doing the thumbnails, I realized more things that had to be added into the scenes. So just as I keep moving forward, I keep adding in little bits of story to tie things in better together. With any kind of art, you're going to get better as you go along, and that's really obvious with a webcomic art-wise. You can see the growth of somebody from the start to end of a comic that they're posting. Even with traditional comics, you can see that growth. And that is the same with writing. I would say get as far as you can doing editing as a script, because you will have to do so much less work if you don't have to redo the same things over and over again. I'm having to redo thumbnails because it just wasn't there. But if that's what you need to do to keep moving forward, I would say go for it. Even as I'm continuing to move forward, I keep adding more scenes and fixing more things that were plot holes or just felt weird because I wrote them in the original comic in 2012. So it's definitely worthwhile for me because I know that my writing is improving with time as well as my art. I don't feel bad knowing that I'm going to be starting to post without the full thing scripted out because, well, one, a lot of webcomic artists don't do that. But two, having that wiggle room, I have a basic idea of where everything is going. And then that ability to improve the story as I'm improving with my art, I think is really nice and fun. So, quick overview of how I do my comic process to this day. Write a quick summary of what I want the scene to be, quick outline, and then make it into a script. And at this point in my life, I split it into panels because I did not used to do that very well. And sometimes while I am scripting, I will be thumbnailing simultaneously to get a better idea of what will fit on what page. Rough draft. And then I personally kind of do a second rough draft of like fleshing out things more in depth, especially since some of the rough draft pages I worked on are a couple years old at this point. So I tend to like just do a quick touch up of a rough draft, and then I do the line art and color and whatever else there needs to be, which I think is pretty average for most people working on comics. I think the most helpful tips that I have are: don't stress about the first draft, just get it out there. It won't be perfect, so don't try to make it that. And then if you are getting stuck with something, switch it up. Print it out and edit it on paper, or start doing the thumbnails for it so you can read through things more closely. That's the biggest... Well, that's maybe... It might be because of my ADHD, but I also just didn't have enough writing experience yet, so... And I do think there are times where you do just need to step away from a project to look at it with clearer eyes. There's definitely been times when I've done that. That's why this process has been spread out over years. Also because I was in college and I work a full-time job. So I think if you're in it to have fun, I think just keep moving forward. Do what you need to keep going. And eventually you'll get there. I mean, ideally, don't just keep redoing the first page over and over again. That's why I would say do at least an outline. I still needed to script it for myself to stop repeating the same page over and over again. I also, when I printed out my script, I did little tags of like, I put in a little sticky note every scene I was excited to draw, so I would like have a motivation point to get to the next point with my thumbnails. Yeah, so I hope there was any kind of advice that was helpful for you in this. I hope it was interesting, maybe. Yeah. Hope to see you tomorrow. Thanks for listening.